What up, everybody? You're listening to the Introverted Nerd Watches. I am your host, Reese, and I'm back for some more of The Gifted. And in this episode, I watched Season 2, Episode 7, No Mercy. And this was a pretty good episode. I really enjoyed it, actually. We got a lot of the using of the powers with everybody, and I always love that. Yeah, and it looks like this what happened in this episode is going to lead to some crazy shit going on, and I'm always about that. So, yeah, I really enjoyed this episode. We got a little bit of backstory on Reeva. Well, not really backstory, but it clarified some things about her. Anyway, before we get into the ins and outs of this episode, you need to subscribe to the podcast because you want to get this episode as soon as it drops every single week. And you only get that if you subscribe. So go to Apple Podcasts, Google Play, Stitcher, wherever you get your podcasts, hit that subscribe button. And maybe leave me a rating and review of the podcast too, because that would be nice. Don't feel any pressure, but kind of feel some pressure and do it. And yeah, so yeah, rate, review, subscribe, do all that good stuff. And, let's get into The Gifted because there's a lot going on this week. So we start with, we got some Reeva backstory. Not really backstory, but it clarified, or we got a visual of the story that she actually told Andy a few episodes ago. I forget which episode it was, but the episode where she told Andy about how her friend was murdered by the purifiers. We got the visual of that, and it was as she said. I know a lot of people were thinking that when Reeva told that story, she might have been lying to Andy. I never thought that she was lying, but I know some people did. So it was nice to get this visual. It wasn't just it wasn't like a memory of Reeva's. This is just a flashback that they did as the cold open to the show. So yeah, her friend Benny you do get a different look at Reeva. Not only a different hairstyle and no black lipstick, but you get a younger Reeva. And you get a Reeva that is not radicalized yet. A Reeva that wants to try to live peacefully with humans, who believes that they can live peacefully with humans. Benny, her friend that was murdered, is the one that is, and I don't even know that Benny is, like, I would call her radical. She's not like Reeva level, like current Reeva level. She's just she wants to protest. She's an activist. She wants to be on the ground. She wants to put up posters, because we find out that they are basically gentrifying the neighborhood. They want to remove all the mutants from these neighborhoods, from their neighborhoods. What's happening is they're being slowly sort of pushed out. Their leases aren't being renewed on the houses and the apartments that they're renting. They also aren't being approved. So, it's just sort of this slowly getting them out of the neighborhood and turning it into an all-human neighborhood. And what Benny wants is for them to be able to have their own space, for them to be able to stay in their neighborhoods, and, it'll just be theirs. It's basically an above ground version of what the Morlocks have going on, what they want to have going on. Is just like, hey, we live here. These are our homes. We want to stay here. You can't just push us out. And Benny is just tired of the bullshit. And, you know, I can completely understand what she's saying. You feel bad for her because we see that even there are all kinds of mutants in this that are part of this, you know, sort of this activist group that they have going on here. And there are, you know, the mutants that show their powers physically, and there are just, you know, mutants like Reeva that can blend in. So yeah, this is before, I guess would even be before like a group like the Morlocks could even exist. Or maybe, I think this is Chicago. I believe, did Reeva say she was from Chicago, or am I just making that up in my mind? I don't remember. Anyway, that's not even, I don't think that's important right now. Probably not, but I don't know. Somebody tell me if I'm remote. It's going to drive me, you know, crazy. So somebody please tell me if I made this up in my mind or if Reeva is actually from Chicago. Anyway, we see just randomly after the meeting, after Benny, you know, gets a little bit loud with Reeva, gets in her face and tells her, you know, this is what we're going to do. We aren't just going to be able to stay here, being nice to humans, because we can never be nice enough to them. And this is some real shit, because it's sort of like the Bill Cosby, pull your pants up, turn your hat around, speak properly, you know, all that stuff that he and some other people tell Black people to do, that is supposed to make them less threatening to white people. It's supposed to make white people more comfortable. And it's the type of thing that never works, because people that hate you don't really change their mind based on superficial things like that. Like, you know, me speaking a certain way to a white person isn't going to change the way they look at my Black skin. So, and it's sort of what the mutants are facing. Well, not sort of, it's almost exactly what the mutants are facing as well. You know, we can't, or at least what Benny is saying is like, yo, we can't be nicer to them. We can always try to be nicer, but we can't. They're never not going to see us as a threat. And they are in a situation where they do have powers, some of them really destructive. So it's just sort of an untenable situation that is probably always, in the case of mutants and humans, always going to be combustible like this, because, you know, you have a mutant like Reed running around like right now, who is absolutely, his powers are absolutely uncontrollable right now, and he is dangerous to everybody around him. So I don't know, it would only take one human being around to see that and to be probably rightfully scared. I mean, Reed is scared of himself right now, so whatever. Back to Benny. It's just purifiers run up. They are breaking things. They're just basically being dicks at first. And one of them hits Reeva, or pushes Reeva to the ground, and Benny attacks him, and that's what gets her stabbed in the stomach. And Reeva is just so shocked on the ground. They get away, and Benny dies on the ground right in front of Reeva, exactly the way she told Andy that it happened. So poor Benny just wanted better for her people, and that's what she got, murdered right in the street. I liked Benny too. I wanted to see, I don't know why I liked her. She was just, I don't know, maybe I just liked her attitude. I wanted to see more of Benny, but I don't know, unless we get another flashback to, to Reeva in the way back, no more Benny for us. So I'm going to do Jace first, because Jace, he has just got all kinds of problems. So it feels like Jace just doesn't know what to do anymore. He's moving in a direction that takes him further and further into the world of the purifiers, but he does seem reluctant about it. I will give him that. He seems reluctant, and he's voicing his opinion when he tells them he's not 100% for what they're doing. But I don't know that you can be sort of halfway in and halfway out of a terrorist organization. I mean, you're either in with them, or you can't play the fence right now. And that's what he kind of wants to do, but they're pulling him, and he's following. He's following slowly, but he is following in their direction. And so what he has going on, his wife is not speaking to him. She will only speak to him through her lawyer. And I'm guessing that he's not signing the divorce papers, or he's not being cooperative in the way that he's supposed to, because he can't speak to her directly. Because before he hangs up on her lawyer, we hear the lawyer says something about how he can't skip this, this phase of what's happening. So I'm guessing that, he's the one that's holding things up, and his wife just wants to keep it moving. And I want to reiterate that I am on that woman's side. I forget Mrs. Jace's name, because she's not really a character in this season. We see her for like two minutes, and what was the first or second episode or something like that. Anyway, I completely agree with her. He is going down a path that he has to go down alone. And I completely understand her not wanting to let this man pull her down anymore. If she's in a place where she's ready to, I don't know, maybe forgive is the wrong word but I'm just going to say forgive the people that murdered her daughter, killed her daughter, whatever she feels that happened, or however she wants to describe it. If she's ready to move on and forgive those people, I think that it is so wrong of him to continue trying to pull her back down into his grief, into where he is. If he's not willing to go get help, on a continuous basis, then it's wrong for him to pull her down like that. And she doesn't have to stay to be pulled down. If he's not willing to get the kind of help that he needs, then she has to do what's best for herself. So nobody else probably cares about Mrs. Jace. But I just wanted to say that, because that's some real shit too. Like, you don't have to be... People grieve together, and it's great when they can help each other, but sometimes you have to take the steps to help yourself first before anybody else can come in. And Jace is just he's not really, the way he wants to help his grief is by going after mutants in general, because I don't think he knows exactly who killed his daughter. So he's just sort of in this, it's just going to be an endless cycle of him going after mutants. And yeah, so that's just what it is. Any old way, Ned Flanders, who the cop guy that got Jace in with the purifiers. I started calling him Ned Flanders in my notes because I couldn't remember his name. And I still can't remember his name. So it's just Ned Flanders from now on. So just whenever I mention Ned Flanders, that's who I'm talking about. Cop dude. Anyway, and I wanted to stop calling him cop dude too. So Ned Flanders introduces Jace to a top level purifier, supporter, or he wants to introduce Jace to that person, because that person actually wants to meet Jace. And one of the conditions of meeting this guy is to be tested for the X gene. And it's like, Jace, turn around now. As soon as Ned Flanders told him that, I'm like, dude, turn around. You don't want anything to do with these people. But they always catch Jace at the right time, right? Like right after he talks, right after he gets divorce papers, or right after he's like looking at pictures of his daughter and like mourning. They always catch him right after that. And Ned Flanders comes to his hotel or wherever he is at the time, where he's talking to his wife's lawyer. That's when Ned Flanders shows up and brings him this little plan to go meet this top level purifier. And the purifier is Benedict Ryan. Peter Gallagher. A few episodes ago, we saw Peter Gallagher on television. I told you he was like a Fox News guy, and I was thinking like he's like too big to just, or at least to me, maybe I know Peter Gallagher better than most people do, but he's in two of my favorite movies, While You Were Sleeping and Center Stage. Oh, and three of my favorite movies, and Burlesque. Those are three masterpieces. Go watch them immediately. So anyway, I was thinking, like, is this just a cameo? Like, they got a famous, like a person that you would recognize to play a news person. So I didn't know. I didn't read anything about it because I never want to be, I didn't want to be spoiled about it, and partially because I'm kind of lazy and I didn't remember. But anyway, I was thinking, like, is he just going to be a cameo, like a cameo news guy? He's like, he's clearly like in the mutant equivalent of Fox News. He's meant to be like a Bill O'Reilly, Sean Hannity type. And so I was wondering if he was going to be a cameo, you know, just sort of in the background on the news. But turns out, nope. He plays a character named Benedict Ryan, and he wants to meet Jace because he wants to use Jace's story as a person who was a member of Sentinel Services and had his daughter killed by mutants. He wants to use Jace's sort of inside knowledge to expose Sentinel Services and basically just to rile up the anti-mutant sentiment that obviously exists in this moment. And he says himself that he has a direct line to the president. So this is getting bigger and bigger. This is not just for Jace, sort of joining this one little purifier group that's going to go around trying to round up mutants. This is some like top level shit right now. Goes all the way up to the president at this point. So yeah. And Jace he's not really into it at first. He tells Benedict Ryan that, you know, he feels some loyalty towards for the people that he used to work with. He doesn't want to just walk around. He doesn't just want to expose everything about Sentinel Services. Like he disagrees with some of their ways, but he's not out here to bring the whole thing down. And Benedict Ryan is like, nah, dude, I'm about, you know, this is about, you know, the system. We have to bring this bad organization down, Sentinel Services, because they're doing the wrong things. He doesn't think they're being tough enough on mutants, I'm guessing. He didn't really say that, but I'm guessing like that's kind of the sentiment that I get from these people, that Sentinel Services is just not doing enough to stop the mutant problem. And I don't know what more they can do. They treat mutants horribly. They put collars around their necks to suppress their powers. They treat them really bad. So the next step would be death. I mean, I don't know, what do they just want to have like this mass murder of mutants in this world? They didn't really get into everything that they want to do, but yeah, Benedict Ryan, not a good guy. So Jace turns this down, and you know things are going bad when Ned Flanders is like giving you a verbal slap down. And that is what happens. Ned Flanders goes up to Jace, and Jace is like a foot taller than this dude, and it just doesn't matter because Ned Flanders is basically like, yo, dude, what the fuck are you doing? You're one of us now. He keeps trying to stress that Jace is one of them. Just like he said last week, he keeps telling Jace that you're one of us, you were a part of the raid with us. Like, he keeps wanting to stress that Jace, and it's almost like he wants to make Jace feel like he has no place else to turn. Like, this is the only place you can turn if you want the results, basically. And I don't know that Ned Flanders is like, some psychological, he's doing some psychological thing. I just think that's what I think he believes this. So I don't think I didn't think about it, but right now, just thinking about it, I'm thinking like, yeah, Ned Flanders actually believes what he's saying about mutants. So it's fucked up, but that's just what it is. So, but it works because Ned Flanders turns him around, and that by the end of the episode, Jace was back with Benedict Ryan, telling him he'll go on his show and tell him whatever he needs to know. The only thing that he is against is like he'll talk about Sentinel Services and the things that they're doing wrong, but he won't name any names. And while they're talking, they're about to go on TV. They get word of Reeva's attack, the Inner Circle's attack on the bank. And this is just sort of like, if he had any doubt, if he was going to really have any doubt, finding out that Reeva attacked this bank is just, it's just like, it threw all his doubt out of the window. So I can't wait to see what he's going to do on that show. Like that shit is going to be crazy. I want to know. I can't wait. Like, I don't even know what to think about. I can't wait to see what he's going to say when he goes on that show, because they're going to, especially since Benedict Ryan is a news person. He's going to be on a news show. I'm sure they're going to be getting like live news about what happened when Reeva attacked that bank, and it's not good at all. So yeah, cannot wait. The show is going to be off next week for some reason. I don't know. There's not baseball or anything on, so I don't know what's happening. Is there? I don't know. Whatever. The show is going to be, the next episode is in 2 weeks. So yeah, I'm kind of pissed about that, but whatevs. Anyway, that was Jace. Let's go to the underground, because Reed is going through, he's like a drug addict going through withdrawals at this point. His powers are still surging. He seems to be in pain. I didn't realize it was his powers acting up this way was painful for him. Or maybe I did and I just forgot. But yeah, that's what it's like. He's going through withdrawals. The Struckers want to move him because he's destroying the place that they live right now. So they decide to move him back to, or not back, but move him to the clinic, since the clinic won't be being watched at this point. It's been empty since the attack by the purifiers. So they feel that it won't be watched. It's a safe place to keep him at, right now. But Blink actually suggests taking him to the Morlocks, and Caitlin cops this attitude like, yo, I don't want my husband to join this underground, this sewer organization. And she just gets a real attitude when Blink even brings it up. And I'm like, girl, how are you going to be getting an attitude like this when you're asking these people for help? Like, you're here begging for help because your goddamn husband is laying on the ground with his powers surging. You can't help him. Like, you can't do anything for him. You need these people. It kind of pissed me off that she even got this attitude because, you know, it's not like Clarice was arguing with her about he has to go there. It was just a suggestion. And it's probably the best suggestion of him to go underground. There's no chance that anybody is going to find him down there. It's probably the safest. You know, they don't need to do what they were doing in this episode, which is trying to find like metal and shit to fortify the place so he doesn't burn shit down. It's just, she's so, she's just so annoying sometimes. And this was just a small moment, but it was just like, girl, like, take it down a notch. It's like, we get it. You're worried about your husband, but you do need our help. You do need Blink's help. So it might be best for you not to cop an attitude with her. Oh, she's just so, Anyway, so they're going to the clinic, and while they're like prepping, they have to prep the transport for him. They, like I said, they put in metal and everything. John, Marcos, and Blink are putting metal and everything to try to fortify it while they transport him to the other place. So Marcos confronts Clarice, and asks her where her loyalties lie because he has been looking at her funny since they were down with the Morlocks a couple episodes ago. Like, he's been sort of side-eyeing her because he watched her down there with Erg. He watched her, you know, he's just been sort of suspicious, and he finally brings it up to her like, yo, you bring up the Morlocks. He says, like, are the Morlocks the answer to everything now? And he cops an attitude with her. I'm about tired of all these people like getting in my Blink's face. Like, give her, like, you don't know her like that, Marcos. Step off. And that's basically what she tells him. like, yo, dude, how are you questioning me when just a few weeks ago you were running to the inner circle? Yes, it was for your daughter, but you were about to drop us. Like, who the fuck do you think you are to be questioning me? And Blink, has been the only one that is asking about, yo, what are we going to do next? We need a plan. She is the only one talking about that, and nobody else is. Like, John and Marcos are just, every time she brings up a plan, they're just like, we'll think about it later. We'll worry about that when we get to it. And it's like, really? You got problems. You need a plan. And she's the only one that's bringing it up. And she's right to be bringing up a plan. Because they're not doing well. Like, the underground is falling apart. And John being like really emo and in his feelings right now, it's like, I get it. I understand that you're upset about what happened in Atlanta. But come on. We need to plan. We need a plan moving forward. You can't just do what we've been doing, because that has been getting them lost. Like, loss after loss. It's just not been working. So they need to do something new. But anyway, Marcos goes to John and tells him, like, yo, you need to talk to Clarice about the Morlocks and Erg, because he tells John that he saw something between him. And to John's credit, he's like, okay, if you're accusing her of something, like, you better have some proof. Like, don't just come up here telling me about your gut feeling about something. You know, give me some proof before I accuse her or anything. And Marcos he didn't accuse her of anything specific, at least not to John. But he just tells John to talk to her. And John does. This is one of the things that I really like. I think I mentioned this in a few episodes ago. I like that they talk to each other. I mean, they've been holding back for the last few episodes, but I'm going to give them a pass since, like, shit was just, like, really out of control. But they do they do talk to each other. There isn't that thing that they usually do with couples and television shows where they make the people, they put up all these like sort of false barriers to make it like difficult for them to talk to each other, or give like really silly reasons for them not to tell each other the truth, or not to have frank conversations. And Blink and John actually do have, they have conversations where they actually tell each other what they think. And Blink tells him, she finally confesses that she helped Erg steal food for the underground, and she gave him a little bit of information about mutants that had passed through. And John is upset. He gets upset about the stealing of the food, and I'm like, come on, guy. Like, I get it. Her giving him information about mutants that you helped, I get not being cool with that. And I understand that you don't want to steal, but it felt like he was a little too upset about the stealing. And it's like, come on, like, get over that. She stole a little, she helped them steal a little bit of food. It's not like, she stole a car, or it's just, or she was out there stealing jewelry and money from people. She stole some food. Take it down a notch, John. But what she does tell him is that she did the things that she did for Erg, helping Erg, was really for him, because they had taken so many losses, and she saw how it was affecting him. She said, we need new allies. We can't, the things that we have been doing haven't been working, and the Morlocks are doing more to help mutants than the underground is at this point. And so, yeah. And it's like, hard truths, John, but face it, I have some problems. I don't like the Morlock branding and all that shit, but they are sort of the only ones that are settled where they are, that are okay with their station in life right now. They're where they want to be. Everybody else, the inner circle, the purifiers, the underground, they're all still trying to find their place. The Morlocks are living a good life, they're living in the sewers. We can look there. Marcos and everybody else can look their noses down at that, but they're relatively happy and safe from everything that, we've seen so far. So, yeah. And, she does tell John, the underground is falling apart and he needed a win. And that's why she did what she did. And basically, sorry, not sorry. And she walks away. So, and the end of this, Caitlin finds a geneticist in North Carolina that has some information about the Von Struckers, and she might be able to help Reed learn how to control his powers. Whatever. I don't know if we're going to see her. I don't know how they're going to get to North Carolina when he can't do anything but burn shit up. So that should be interesting going forward. My girl Lauren in this episode confesses to Caitlin that when she and Andy were using their powers together in Atlanta, that she knew people were dying, but she felt free and she felt powerful. So that's scary, because if Lauren felt that way, then, I'm wondering, can she be flipped the way that Andy was, to go to like the bad side, quote unquote? I don't know. I do love Lauren though, so I want to see what's going to happen. Caitlin tries to talk her down from that, trying to tell her that, she's not anything like the the Van Struckers or the Von Struckers. She's not anything like those twins. They were just evil. But Lauren, I don't know. I think my girl Lauren might be slipping, y'all. Like if she describes using her powers with Andy as freedom and power, and how she liked it, then I don't know. Can she resist that pull of using her powers with Andy again? Because that's obviously going to come up again. That has to come up again. So yeah, I can't wait to see what happens with that. And excuse me. I'm tired. And Reed just has all kinds of bad shit going on, so I want him to get his power straight, or I want him to not be burning everything up and not be like curled up in the ball on the floor crying the whole time. Yeah, so that's what I need from him. I need him to get it together. I'm sympathetic to what he's going through, but I just really need him to get it together like right now, because yeah, I cannot deal with another episode with him just, sitting around crying, cowering away from everybody, his family, because he's scared he's going to hurt them. I mean, I get it, but yeah, come on. So I'm so mean. Like last week I was so sympathetic. I was like, oh my God, it's so terrible what happened to him. And this week I'm like, come on, dude. Like I'm like that Judge Judy gif of her like tapping on her watch. Like, come on. Like I only got so much time here. Anyway, let's get on to Reeva in the inner circle, because that's where all the action was. So the plan for the inner circle is to go to this bank, Creed Financials, and basically just siphon all the money out of this bank. Use that bank to fund whatever they have going on next. And Reeva has been the QM from last week, is an executive from the bank that works at the bank. His name is Quinn. He is a really nice guy. And he really cares about Reeva. But unfortunately for him, he got seduced by that beautiful face, and nothing goes right for him from there. We find out way too much about that guy for him to live through this episode, and he ends up dying. So we find out his wife died. What the hell is that? I got a fucking bird outside my window and it's being annoying. Anyway, I'm sorry. His wife died. He has 2 children. And he even shows Reeva a drawing that one of his kids did, showing him that, a picture is a picture of him smiling, and his son tells him, or his daughter, I forget which one it is, but the kid tells him that they drew a picture of him smiling because it's the first time he has looked happy in such a long time. And he shows Reeva that picture, and I'm like, oh my God, they really just want to lay it on to us so thick. So so just so you know, he's not a bad guy, I guess. But I'm like, as soon as we got that picture, I was like, oh my God, are they going to kill this guy? Is that what they want to do? He just seemed like he was such a nice guy. Anyway, so Reeva has been using him, lying to him, and they're going to use him as somebody who can walk into the bank freely to disable the mutant identification system that they have at that bank, so that they can get in and do what they need to do. And it's a pretty good plan that they have. They are working in conjunction with each other. It's sort of like X-Men like, everybody is using their powers together, and it's really cool. But Rebecca is a problem. So Rebecca has this thing. Rebecca does this thing where she says something that's like that's kind of fucked up, but she says it in a funny way so everybody can like joke it off. Like last week she made those, what did she make? Was it waffles or pancakes where she put like a devil face on it? And it's kind of creepy, but then it's like, oh, it's not a big deal. And then in this episode, she's telling Andy, she's explaining to Andy that she's nervous that she's not going to be able to perform her part of the task that they're doing. And she's telling him that she thinks that she's going to get ridiculed and they're going to tell her how stupid and useless that she is. And Andy is trying to reassure her. And her response to that is to say, oh, so you'll kill everybody that makes me feel bad. And Andy is like, yeah, I'll kill all of them, ha ha ha. And they're laughing about it. But then you see her later in this episode and she murders. Rebecca murders all of the workers at this bank. They put all of the employees they lock them in one room, and Rebecca, she wants to murder all of them, and she does murder all of them. So she starts talking before they even complete the plan. Rebecca is telling them that she's asking why are they going to let the employees go. She's saying how bad they are. They work for this awful company, and she wants to know why they're just going to let them leave. And everybody is telling her like, yo, they're humans. They don't have anything to do with this. Let's just do what we're supposed to do and get this over with. And by the time they get to when they're supposed to be leaving and they lock all the employees in the room, Reeva has already told Quinn multiple times and told all of the employees, you'll be safe as long as you do what you're told. You'll get to go home to your families. Nothing is going to happen to you. Just be cool. And for the most part, that's what all those people do. I mean, one white guy gets a little bit mouthy, but they don't do anything. They don't do anything outrageous. And that's just not enough for Rebecca. They walk away because the police are on their way, and Rebecca murders all these people. We see just a bigger version of what she did on that video. What was it, last week or the week before? Where she basically turns everybody inside out, and all you see is a bunch of blood splash against the glass doors. And it's like, oh shit, Reeva. It's like, oh my God, Reeva, you got somebody that you absolutely could not control. And now everything, like all bets are off. Everything has Rebecca murdering those people just kills any momentum that Reeva had. Because we do find out from John that he was trying to get help for Reed, to help Reed, sort of get away or find someplace else to put Reed for safety. And he told Marcos, like, yo, we're losing to the inner circle. Their message of, mutant uprising is spreading and people believe it. But Rebecca just destroyed all of that. Like, what she did can't even, like, nobody seeing what happened to those people is going to think that was a mistake. They're going to think that Reeva went there, or the inner circle went there to murder those people without any care. They just went there, they stole money, and they murdered everybody there. So yeah, it's all over for Reeva. I don't know how she recovers, how her plan recovers from that, how the inner circle recovers from that. They're literally back at square one with this. And they also have a bigger problem of actually dealing with Rebecca, because she kills those people and then she smiles about it afterward, and they run out. And it's like, oh shit. Like, Andy is seeing her for the first time because Andy tried to stop her from killing them. But Andy is also kind of the reason that she got the power to kill them. She wanted to kill them before, but Andy is the one that sort of hyped her up in order to be able to turn the safe inside out. And what he did was he told her, like, yo, go back to how you felt in the mental institution when those people were abusing you, and access that anger and that you had before in order to do this. And it's like, oh, Andy, you just unleashed some shit here. So Rebecca isn't scared of Reeva the way that other people are, the way that the others in their circle are right now. Rebecca's powers can't be controlled the way others can. She can't, the collar doesn't work on her. Like, she's dangerous. She is very dangerous. I don't know what they're going to do about her. Yeah. Rebecca is a fucking problem. Because if you didn't realize a few episodes ago where they told you she murdered her family, you realize now that what happened to her in the institution was wrong, but clearly she is not right in the head. Something is very wrong with her, and she needs to be, she needs medical supervision. So yeah, she is a big fucking problem. But one of the things that Rebecca does make you question is she keeps bringing up the fact that these people, the employees that she murders, all work for Cree Financials, and by working there, they're complicit in what Cree Financials does to mutants. They're complicit in the suffering that the mutants have faced. So it does make you question, like, how responsible are the people that work for these bad corporations? Like, if you, like, real world, if you're an executive, or not even an executive, if you're an employee that works for, I don't know, Amazon, are you complicit, and you have all of your, and you make a good salary, and you have your benefits? Are you complicit? Are you part of the problem when Amazon doesn't pay the people that work in their in those big warehouses? Are you part of the problem if you work there, and you just sort of sit by while they mistreat their lower level employees? I don't know. Is there an answer to that? Like, real world, is there an answer to that? I don't think so. I feel like it's the people that are on top, that are to blame. Like, if you're a person that needs a job and you get one at Amazon, or in this case, Cree Financials, like Quinn said, like, this is just a job for him. I don't know how much power he actually has. Well, he has enough power to be able to open vaults and whatever. It's a question that probably can't be answered, and I can't answer right now. All I know is Quinn is dead. Reeva has she sort of inadvertently continued the cycle. She promised Quinn he would be okay. He would be able to go back home to his children. Unfortunately, her plan, the thing that she put into motion made it so that doesn't happen. And so we're probably never going to see his children on this show. Like Quinn, this was his first and last appearance on this show. But just long term, what she did caused his children to be completely parentless, and she created another generation of people that could possibly hate mutants. So she created what she was trying to combat, and now everything is bad for Reeva, for the inner circle. And you do actually get you see Reeva through the episode where she actually seems to care about Quinn, and she doesn't want to hurt him. So but nobody else sees that. So we as the audience see that, but nobody else sees that. So it's sort of like, well, if we're the only ones as the audience that see that, then it kind of doesn't matter. It matters as, we judge her. It matters in how we judge her, but the people that are around her, the people sort of in the world, will not care about that shit. Like, it doesn't matter that she, kind of liked Quinn, and the results are the only thing that matter right now. So, yep. Ends with Rebecca murdering everybody. And what happens now, you guys? Like, Andy sees Rebecca for who she really is, but can he get away from her? Like, she's really dangerous now. She's more powerful than he is. And she's a lot more disturbed than he is. So what is Andy going to do? Will the underground finally listen to Blink and come up with a plan is what I want to know. Yeah, they need a plan. I don't know what they're going to do, but they need to all sit down. Marcos, John, and Clarice need to sit down and come up with a plan for what they're going to do next. And I got a feeling that they won't be able to do that because of what Reeva did. Everything is going to blow up from there. And what Erg said is going to come to pass, because Erg showed Clarice a few episodes ago that what Reeva is doing is just going to cause a war. And that's what we're about to get, I believe. A war between humans and mutants that the underground will have to join, because humans are going to human, and they're going to bring out all the big guns. They're going, like, this is what Rebecca did is just so, I cannot stress how horrible it is to see what she did. Oh my God. And what are they going to do with her? Like, seriously, what is Reeva going to do with Rebecca? What is she going to do? I don't know, you guys, but that is the end of the episode, and I'm excited to see what happens. 2 weeks we have to wait for it, but I'm excited to see. So, if you want to talk to me some more about The Gifted or anything else, you can follow me on Twitter. I'm at NerdTravertPod. Use the hashtag NerdyWatch, because that's what I use when I live tweet everything, and you can use that to chat with me so I can see. You can follow me on Instagram at The Introverted Nerd, or go to the Facebook page and like that, facebook.com/The Introverted Nerd. If you want to send me email feedback, send it to theintrovertednerd@gmail.com. And that's it, you guys. So I'll be back in a day or two with my review for Black Lightning, and then that's it. I don't know. Any old way. Until then, later Gators.